Senator McCreary? Senator Shore? We have a quorum.
We have quorum. I'll remind the witnesses to keep your comments relevant to the bill. Make sure that you fill out a witness form there if you want your testimony to be into public record. Today we will be hearing three bills. First up is House Bill 269. Representative Shields, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I really appreciate being here today. You have just heard this bill just a couple weeks ago by Senator Lincoln Huff. So I will quickly just tell you that, Mr. Chairman, House Bill 269 is a three-pronged approach to address the child care crisis in our state. It incentivizes taxpayers, both businesses and individuals, to invest in the private child care industry so all families can afford safe, reliable, quality care for their children. This bill supports home-based child cares, family home child cares, and center-based child cares. It allows communities to develop the child care that they need and want, not government. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Representative Shields? None. Any witnesses testify in favor of the bill whenever you're ready?
Good morning, Kara Corches on behalf of the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry, also in strong support again. We know that our economy loses out on over $1.35 billion annually because of our child care crisis, and this bill is a comprehensive approach to address that crisis and drive new capital into our child care infrastructure, and that's why we are in strong support.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for this witness? All right. Hearing none, next witness to testify in favor of whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Samuel Lee with Campaign Life Missouri to go on record in support of House Bill 269. We thank Representative Shields for sponsoring this pro-life bill again. It's very similar to the pro-life bill that Senator Huff had that you already voted out last week. Our pro-life pregnancy centers and maternity homes tell us that one of their greatest needs of their clients is transportation, housing, and child care. And we can't fix all those in one bill, but we can certainly take care of, make a start taking care of one of those.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of the bill. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning. Matthew Smith with Associated Industries of Missouri, going on record in support of this bill. A tax credit for child care is a great way to get mothers and fathers back into the workforce if they choose to do so. This will ease the burden of costly child care and will provide relief to Missouri families, and we're happy to support the bill and thank the representative for sponsoring it.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for this witness? Hearing none, the next witness testify in favor of this bill. Come forward whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Brad Jones with the NFIB. The Small Business Economic Trends Survey that we do every month came out this morning. We have 40% of the small businesses of this country right now have a job they can't fill. And if this bill in any way helps that situation, because you know you've got moms and dads at home that would lots rather be out working than staying home. So we fully support this bill again. So we hope we get it over the finish line this year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of the bill whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is David Overfelt. I'm the president of the Missouri Retailers Association, and I represent the Missouri Grocers Association, and they both want to go in support of House Bill 269.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for this witness? Hearing none, the next witness testify in favor of the bill. Come forward whenever you're ready.
Hello, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Jamie Morris with the Missouri Catholic Conference here in support. Want to once again thank the bill sponsor. I feel like we testify on this about every 2 weeks or so, but hope this we can get this across the finish line, and really just want to thank everyone for the support. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of the bill whenever you're ready.
Kara Stark here on behalf of J.E. Dunn Construction, a large general contractor employer in Kansas City. I won't belabor the point. We're just happy to go on record and hope to see it pass this year.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of whenever you're ready.
Jamie Murphy, Missouri Hospital Association, wanting to go on record in support of this bill.
Thank you for your testimony. I've never had a bill this popular. It's usually the opposite. Are there any other witnesses testify in favor of the bill? Whenever you're ready.
Chair, members of the committee, Jessica Petrie here for Kidswood, Missouri, Family Forward, the Jewish Federation of St. Louis County, BJC, the National Association of Social Workers, Missouri chapter, Goodwill, MoCan, and Cox Health. And that's a really annoyingly long list, but I hope it gives a sense of the broad range of sectors impacted by this bill.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of.
Scott Penman, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Missouri, happy to support the legislation.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of. It's like working cattle. Just herd them through.
It's just a great bill. Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Jack Gamble here on behalf of the Missouri State Alliance of YMCAs. I'd like to go on record in support.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Sam Panettiere on behalf of the City of Kansas City and the Northland Chamber of Commerce. Just like to go on record in support. Appreciate the representative pushing this forward to help our workforce.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for this witness? Hearing none. Next witness to testify in opposition to the bill whenever you're ready. No, I'm just kidding.
You got me, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Fred Dreiling today representing the Builders, a chapter of the AGC based in Kansas City. We employ over 22,000 people in the construction trades, and we think this will help our workers. On record in support. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for this witness? Hearing none. Next witness testify in favor of.
Mr. Chairman, this might quite possibly be the most popular thing I've ever participated in. Normally I'm in opposition of good things, but Shannon Cooper today representing the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, Civic Council, Greater Kansas City, and United We want to go on record in support of the bill. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Shannon. Any questions for this witness?
Thank you, Mr.
Hearing
Chairman.
none. Next witness testify in favor of.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Will Mars on behalf of the Branson Lakes Area Chamber of Commerce, just want to go on record in support. Thanks, Brenda.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for this witness? Hearing none. Are there any more witnesses to testify in favor of this bill? Are there any witnesses testify in opposition to? All right. Representative, do you have any closing comments?
Thank you. I want to thank everyone that came today. I did not recruit them. They showed up on their own organically. Obviously, child care is we have a crisis in our state. We have to help working class families be able to return back to work and know that their children are in safe, quality, reliable care. And thank you very much for hearing the bill today.
No, it's a good bill. Thank you for sponsoring it. All right. Next up, we have Senate Bill 832. Senator Black, whenever you're ready. I bet you don't have as many people supporting your bill as a representative did. Oh, short, sorry.
Yeah, but I was texting one of the vets at home that my daughter worked on, but he's quite a bit older than your dad. I thought they were about the same age. Thank you, Cinder, and good morning. And good morning to the members of the committee. For the record, my name is Rusty Black, and I represent the 12th Senate District. Senate Bill 832 authorizes advanced practice registered nurses and physician assistants who have been delegated controlled substance prescribing authority through a collaborative practice agreement to prescribe hydrocodone and other Schedule II medications to patients under the care of providers designated as administrative entities by the Department of Mental Health. And yes, there's a lot of things that you got to read, but no, it's not that complicated once it gets explained to you. Okay? It's a narrow group of people to provide this, and the reason why, well, probably two reasons why people ask whether I would carry it. You know, some of you know that I would like to expand this a little more and a little more. But the other part about this deals with patients that are under mental health care, and if they lose their collaborator, then they also lose the ability to be able to keep those people on that medication until there's another collaborator show up within the organization. I can read the rest of the script, but I think we might as well get started looking at this, and there are people behind me that are better experts than I am, but I'll try to wade through some stuff if you've got some questions of me.
Thank you, Senator. I like your tie. Kind of fitting for this business. A lot of hogs. Are there any questions for the senator? All right, hearing none. First witness testify in favor of the bill. Whenever you're ready.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Brent McGinney with the Missouri Behavioral Health Council, representing the administrative entities under contract with the Department of Mental Health. And we asked just one witness to come kind of explain why it's so important to the mental health safety net system that this bill passed. So I'm going to introduce, if that's, oh, I think it is. Sorry, is that better? I was too far away. Sorry, just real quick again, Brent McGinney, Missouri Behavioral Health Council. We brought one of our APRNs from a rural center in southwest Missouri to kind of explain the situation that we're in the safety net system. So this is Christy Henley. Welcome.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Christy Henley. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and I practice in rural southwest Missouri. I was raised in southwest Missouri since the age of about 12 years old, and I have worked in community mental health for the last 16 years. I also am a major in the United States Air Force Reserve and have completed 10 years in the United States Air Force Reserve. I wanted to share a few things with you today about advancing this bill. One of the things that I wanted to share with you is we, as a community mental health center, I also represent an FQHC in Southwest Missouri that I collaborate with and work with, and they do primary care, but they also have a pretty robust behavioral health department. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you is that we've had physicians reach out to our community mental health center from far out places outside of the state of Missouri, wanting to collaborate with our nurse practitioners for money, and so they will prescribe the Schedule II stimulants and other prescriptions that need to be prescribed. These people don't know Missourians, they don't know our rural healthcare needs, and really have just reached out saying they're willing to fill a need, which we appreciate. But they don't know our way of life in Missouri and the way that we do things in Missouri. It raises concerns about continuity, quality, and accountability in care. And we can empower Missouri nurse practitioners to prescribe stimulants under these collaborative agreements and supervision, and that would ensure more responsive, localized, and patient-centered treatment. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is that we have insufficient psychiatrists to meet the ADHD treatment demands across the lifespan. According to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, Missouri has only about 95 practicing child psychiatrists. 95. That's to serve approximately 1.4 million children living in the state of Missouri. And with an estimated 9.4% of children diagnosed with ADHD, there's over 130,000 Missouri children that may require treatment with a Schedule II stimulant. 130,000 with 95 practicing child psychiatrists. Where I work at a CCBHO and a federally qualified health center, we routinely reach capacity having just one child psychiatrist covering much of southwest Missouri. Something were to happen to him, all of those prescriptions, all of that treatment would go unfilled. Families often travel long distances for care and are turned away due to capacity limits. Once he has enough patients, we literally cannot see any more people. This shortage affects adults as well. I did also bring a letter in support from the CEO of the federally qualified health center that serves primary care. Their national ADHD prevalence in adults is around 3%, so approximately 141,000 Missourians, adults, also need a stimulant for work, education, and daily function. Yet we lack sufficient psychiatrists to meet that demand. So allowing nurse practitioners to prescribe the Schedule II stimulants under a collaborative agreement, still controlled by their collaborating physician, would significantly reduce the treatment bottleneck across all age groups. And then a couple other things I just wanted to go over. There is emerging research. Missouri remains one of the states hardest hit by methamphetamine misuse. You don't have to look far to see the effects of this. And it's an effective pharmacological treatment remains limited. There's not a lot that we can do. Schedule II stimulants are emerging as a promising tool in treating methamphetamine use disorder. And 2021 studies showed benefit from medications, and that a 2020 meta-analysis in addiction found that prescribed stimulants significantly help patients with stimulant use disorder. We can help these people, we just don't have enough people to do it. We don't have enough psychiatrists to do it. So restricting these Schedule II stimulants not only limits ADHD care, but it also slows innovation in treating methamphetamine use disorder. Nurse practitioners, particularly those in community mental health centers, are ideally positioned to bring this evidence-based practice care to those who need it most. And I'll kind of close out with a couple of things that there is evidence from full practice states showing positive outcomes. And so I've put a few of those things here. And Missouri is losing nurse practitioners to neighboring states. Since states like Illinois, Arkansas, Kansas have expanded nurse practitioner authority, Missouri has seen a decline in nurse practitioner retention, and nurse practitioner job growth in Missouri lags behind the national average. So in conclusion, I just want to share that we can begin with a pilot program in Missouri Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinics. These clinics are well equipped for team-based care. They have existing oversight. They serve high-need populations, and a controlled rollout would allow Missouri to track outcomes and ensure safety before broader implementation.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for the witness? Senator Lewis.
Hi there. Thanks for being here. I was just wondering if you could share your statistics with the committee, like just, pass
I'd be
those
happy
along.
to leave my outline.
Yeah.
of
Okay.
my
And then,
notes.
thank you. And then I failed to mention the International Association of Firefighters, Local 42 in my community, have provided a letter in support, and I'm happy to pass that on to the committee. But just Matt Dowd wasn't able to be here today, but just wanted to share that the firefighters local in my community are in support.
My collaborating physician was also not able to be here today. He is in support. He feels like sometimes that he's being asked to run pill mills, because the nurse practitioners are not allowed to prescribe these medications, and so he very much sees the need for treatment. But he was seeing patients today, and so we could not get him out here today.
Well, thank you for your testimony. Any other questions for this witness? Hearing none. Next witness testify in favor of the bill whenever you're ready.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Kaina Iman on behalf of the Missouri Nurses Association. Been around the building quite a while. As you know, this has been a tough battle, but I was working with Senator Delbert Scott in 2007 when we passed prescriptive authority for APRNs, and it was under the understanding then that after a couple years we would come back and allow prescriptive authority for Schedule IIs, considering that there were no adverse effects by APRNs being able to prescribe 3 through 5, and here we are almost 20 years later still fighting the fight to get them prescriptive authority for Schedule II. So I know this is a small piece of the pie, but it's an important part of moving forward to allow them to prescribe stimulants and much needed behavioral health programs for these folks. So hope you can support this bill. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your testimony. Any other questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of the bill whenever you're ready. Please come forward.
Good afternoon or morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Derek Leffert, CEO of the Association of Missouri Nurse Practitioners, want to go on record in support of the bill. As been mentioned already, there is a significant need for behavioral health providers, and we believe that this will help resolve some of those issues. It's not gonna, the panacea is going to fix everything, but we certainly believe that this will help. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of the bill. Did you vote this morning, Kathy?
Absolutely. I voted yesterday and
I was going to
today.
say, how many times have you voted?
Yeah, I mean early and often.
All right. Vote early, vote often. That's how I won.
I'm Kathy Harness. I didn't hear that. I'm Kathy Harness, and I'm here today on behalf of the National Council of State Boards of Nursing in support of Senate Bill 832. Thank you, Senator Black, for bringing this up. There's still lots to be done in our healthcare access, but this is one step in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Did you
testimony.
vote
The
for me?
questions for this witness, huh?
Did you vote for me?
Well, I probably shouldn't say since it's not in
Okay, thank you.
yeah, but yeah. we'll
Ashley
talk
wrote
about
me
that.
in.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Are there any questions for our newly elected city councilwoman? Hearing none, next witness testify in favor of the bill whenever you're ready. Are there any witnesses to testify in opposition to the bill? Feel pretty lonely out there, Jacob.
Feeling a little lonely in here. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you, Jacob Scott with the Missouri State Medical Association and the Missouri Association of Osteopathic Physicians, on record in opposition of this bill. Love the bill sponsor, hate the bill. There's just some things about it that are kind of concerning to me and to our physicians, of course, is the idea that there are, this really isn't a small step. This is actually a very big step that I think is wrong for Missouri in the sense that physicians are those that are most educated and trained to make these decisions for our most vulnerable patients that are dealing with mental health issues. And the idea that, we've had a very long struggle in our state with the opioid crisis. I don't have to remind the committee that we're the 50th state to pass the prescription drug monitoring program, and we're hearing that there are information exchange challenges with that currently. So I don't think we want an unintended consequence of having additional people being able to prescribe these very addictive substances. And these substances, of course, could exacerbate the problem with the opioid crisis, and these benzos as well could be problematic in the mental health space. I'm very happy to work with the bill sponsor and interested parties to see if there isn't a better way to do this. But, we all play a role in the healthcare system. Physicians traditionally have led the care team. And, I think there was some mention from previous testimony about collaborative practice agreements. We want meaningful collaboration. I hear these stories sometimes of perhaps groups coming from outside that want to collaborate. We have 33,000 physicians, I believe, that are licensed in our state. Of course, there are other physicians that are located in your community. You should be seeking out a collaborative provider that meets the needs that you're looking for in providing the best quality care for patients, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a team-based approach where a physician leads that care because of their exceptional education and training. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your testimony. The questions for this witness. Hearing none, next witness testify in opposition to this bill whenever you're ready.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Brian Bernskater here on behalf of the Missouri Academy of Family Physicians. Jacob stole a lot of the conversation that we wanted to have with the committee. I did want to point out that a lot of these problems are downstream of the fact that we don't have enough physicians in the state, and that's causing a lot of issues. The Missouri legislature over the last couple of years has put significant monies towards expanding graduate medical education, which we think is a very important piece of this conversation. We think we need to be growing the healthcare pie as opposed to dividing up into smaller sections that end up with worse care for our Missouri patients.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for this witness? Hearing none, next witness testify in opposition to this bill whenever you're ready. All right, Senator, do you have any closing comments?
Collaborative practice agreement is still part of anybody that would be doing this. Pretty small sliver, helping Missourians, and we're a long ways away from having more medical professionals than we need, no matter what letters are behind their name. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for bringing this legislation forward. With no further business to come before this committee, I now make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? I have a second. We're adjourned.
You bet.
Thank you so much for bringing it up. It's such an important topic. And it's funny, it's still a collaborative.